In this video, we're going to be going over doing a physical inventory in ThunderPOS. This is the process that many stores do once a year to just count all of your items, do adjustments to your inventory as necessary. So we're going to flip over to our store here, and just to show right quick our store here, just for the purposes of this tutorial, it's a very simple inventory. We've just got the 3 system items and then 2 items that we've added. And you can see one of them is in the sample and example department and category. One is in sample 2 and EX2, which is example 2. So to start an inventory here, we're going to go to activities and then physical inventory, and then we're going to need to select the departments and categories we're doing. If you're going to do the entire store, you can just check all departments and all categories, but in this case we're going to show the features for just having a smaller subsection of the store being inventoried at a time, and then we will begin the inventory. So this actually is only going to include 1 item in our inventory. And then the other item that we've added will be out of it. So the most straightforward way to do the count is actually just to hit continue counting, and then you can scan the items or search for them through lookup. So we're going to do this. If we scan the item that's not included, it's going to give us an error telling us why this item isn't appropriate. And in this case, the category is not in the current physical inventory. If we scan the item that is included, you can see down here, it's going to show us recent items scanned, and it's going to give us an indication that this item was scanned, but we've now, the new stock is how many we're expecting to have. So we're expecting 3, and we just scanned 1, so we're missing 2. For used, we're supposed to have 2, and we haven't scanned any, so we're now missing 2. You can scan a quantity by just filling in the quantity. You can also remove an item by scanning a quantity that's negative. So if we scan -1 sample, it goes back down to 0 new scanned. But we'll actually we'll scan in the 3 new copies, but not the 2 used copies, just for the purposes of this test. So when we go back here, we can see our discrepancy report, and we'll just use the standard version of the discrepancy report here. And you'll see that it shows that we are missing 2 of the sample item, and our total cost adjustment is $2. So we are adjusting away $2. A negative delta indicates you've actually scanned more copies than you were supposed to have in the store. Most commonly, that's caused if something was never received, or if on a previous physical inventory it had gotten missed. You can also get the discrepancy report by the category, and you can also get what's called a coverage report. This just indicates that you have scanned items that you have scanned at least 1 copy of that you have in stock, and it's most commonly used if you're using this process to check that you have at least 1 of everything out on the shelf. So that would not typically be used if you're actually using this for its normal purpose of getting a physical inventory, but rather it's used to check that you have enough of everything out on your shelf and that you don't have anything that's only in the back. You can also use a couple other methods besides the continue counting to bring in inventory. One is that you can export and then import spreadsheet files in and out. That will allow you to use Excel or whatever your spreadsheet editor of choice is to just count there, which you can then do from any device that you can open the spreadsheet on. That's a very easy way in the point of view of the system to count, but depending on exactly how you're doing it, might be more complicated for some users. But it can be nice, in particular, if you're doing something where you have a very large quantity of a couple of items, and it's easier to just count them and then type it in than it is to actually scan. And then grayed out here, because I actually do not have a batch scanner hooked up to this computer, is the import from device button. This is used with the batch scanners that we have available. These are devices that allow you to go around and scan items without being connected to the computer, and then you bring them back up and place them in the cradle and upload them to the computer. They are very nice for the purposes of doing a physical inventory. They can also be used with purchase orders and vendor returns. But if you're interested in that, we do have some technical documentation up on the ThunderPOS.com site about that. I would recommend checking that out. Finally, once you're done counting completely, you have two possibilities here. You can either cancel the inventory process. That's just going to discard your scans and you're not going to change anything about your inventory. Or you can finalize and update the inventory. So I'm actually going to finalize and update the inventory here. And we will then see that now that we've done that, if we go into the inventory here, the store and then items, we can actually see that on this item, because we scanned 0 used copies, but we had 3 new copies, that went to 0 used in stock. Meanwhile, the other item, we actually earlier had no used stock of that at all, but we had 10 in stock, and you can see it wasn't touched because it was not part of that inventory. This is a very useful tool. Like I said, many stores only do it once a year, but some stores, especially those using the batch scanner, will do just specific department and categories on a nightly basis, even just rotating the duty between the different departments and categories to keep up with any kind of losses, and theft is usually the main concern there. But if you have questions about that, or if you're interested in getting one of the batch scanners, just contact us and we will be glad to assist you.